Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. My name is DFree. Here today, we are going to go over all of the Kid Buus that you see listed in that bracket right there. All the Kid Buus in the game right now, we are going to talk about them, we are going to dissect them, we are going to compare them, and see which ones are the best ones. And of course, this is my opinion, so feel free to disagree. I'm cool with that. Let me know in the comments why though, if you do. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe if you're new for more content. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to leave a like. We want to get up to 800 likes on this video to do more analysis type videos. Of course, if you guys enjoy the show, the support, let me know. But that being said, we're going to jump into this. So with the way that the game has transitioned lately, I've been saying this for a long time. I hope that people understand it, but the game in the last like 8 months or so, give or take, has been, and since we got into the category meta pretty much, barring a few outliers like LR Vegito, LR Gogeta, LR Goku and Frieza, even the LRs, right? They're all like on the same wavelength. There's not a huge, this unit's way better than that unit or anything like that. And the same exists for Dokkan Fest units. They're all about on the same tier, you know, in my opinion. Some are a little better than others versus, you know, due to different things they can do, different teams, things like that. But there's not this huge, like, this unit hits for 2 million, this unit hits for 4 million, this unit hits for 6 million that we had during, like, the 120 meta, you know. So a lot of units now are trading some of that off to be on the same tier about offensively. And then also have some defense or a transformation that allows them to get defense. So long-winded story short, I am going to value the defense in some way. Not, these Kid Buus really don't have defense, but if they do, they're probably going to be higher on this list. So jumping into number 5, AGL Kid Buu. So this unit, there's really nothing wrong with this unit at all. Like, I love this unit. He carried me way back in the game before we got into the 70% meta and stuff like that. That leader skill, using double AGL Kid Buu, was like one of the only ways you could really clear some of these harder events if you didn't have like a stacked team. So like, I will always be cool with this unit. I mean, it got to a point where I pulled him a lot and didn't want to see him, but I'll always be cool with him. So I just hope he gets an Extreme Z Awaken. And for me, he's still one of the better healers in the game at the start of the turn. So on a 400,000 HP team, this is about what, 48K or so, you know, something like that, HP at the start of the turn, which is really good. And 4,000 is a whale team. Even if we dip that to about 300, that's about 36K, I believe, give or take. So he's still able to heal a lot. And for reference, he's one of the better, I think I was just saying this, one of the better at the start of the turn healers in the game. The second best one without any sort of transformation. As you see, Frieza's min is 11, max is 15 whenever he gets to, I believe, golden. But other than that, there are other healers like these transformation units, 100% once only, 30% once only, stuff like that. When they transform, you have 15%. 15%. Here's Frieza, 15%. But again, just naturally, start of the turn, that unit is really good. And then, of course, there are passive healers. There are per orb healers. There are super attack healers. Like, there's a lot of healers. I'm not saying he's the best healer in the game, but, like, this mechanic at the start of the turn, percentage-based healing, he's one of the better ones outright. So I'm cool with that. So to me, he needs an Extreme Z Awaken though, like I was saying, and that's really the only issue. He has no sort of offensive or defensive viability. So while he's healing that, you know, it's just he's going to take that damage back. You could give him level 20 dodge, you can do whatever you want to try to make him a little bit more usable, give him a little bit more utility, but as soon as he gets hit, you are taking that damage back. Now, the flip side of this is that recently there's been a very big noticeable thing about units that have big bad bosses but also need to get hit, and the villains are so good defensively, whether they're lowering attack, whether they're healing, whether their defense is high, things like that, like maybe you don't trigger it. So if you need a unit or two on your team that while he heals, you know, he's gonna give it back, like I said, that can get hit, he's your guy, right? But for me, ideally, SA-15, supreme damage, because they did not give the STR Super Saiyan 3 Goku immense damage. So I don't think this guy would get immense damage on his Extreme Z Awaken either. But probably about 70%. And for reference, 70% puts him just below this Frieza naturally, which is fine. I mean, he jumps up to level 140, increased stats, yada yada. And he already has 13K attack, so his stats aren't that bad. So, you know, about 70% minimum, maybe 80% maximum is where I would like to see this unit jump to. And that puts him pretty much on tier with this unit untransformed. Not to mention key multipliers, yada yada. Other mechanics such as like super attack, you know, raising. So I'm not saying he'd be as good as Frieza, but he'd be, I guess, kind of close. But anyways, getting out of here, we're going to jump into number 4. And that is Tech Kid Buu. Now, full disclosure for this unit. I want to point out that Well, this unit right here is the real unit, but he's not a part of my list. He's not Kid Buu, so I'd have to grade this unit. Now, by the way, huge shout out to DeVille. I do have some awesome damage calcs that we'll be using courtesy of Brandon DeVille. So I'll leave a link to his Twitter down below. I'm going to start pulling up the damage calculations shortly here, but I'm trying to get through this kind of as quickly as possible because I can go off on tangents sometimes. But the self-sufficiency is good. Only issue with this guy, of course, is the lack of defense. He came in the meta where there was nothing but offense necessary anyway, which, I mean, you could still clear events. You don't need defense, right? But the model is a certain thing. I try to stick to that. But nonetheless, below 80% does suck. So there's that. Other than that, very good unit. And this unit right here is, like I said, good unit. Underrated. Totally worth using. I don't think he gets talked about enough, but definitely a solid unit. So moving on, I do want to pull up some of these damage calculations that we have. So the thing about this is I have a long list of things as far as like the applicable unit teams and stuff like that. So just for reference, I'm going to shoot through this pretty quickly. We're going to focus on AGL Kid Buu really quick. Now again, this unit is the weakest one because he has nothing to work with. So at rainbow level, with Fierce Battle, Brutal Beatdown, Majin, the Wall Standing Tall, and Big Bad Boss is active, his attack stat gets to 760,000 attack stat. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good for a unit that has absolutely, again, nothing working for him. So this is going to skyrocket when he gets any sort of Extreme Z Awaken. Book it. Anyways, moving on, Tech Kid Buu for comparison. At rainbow level is at 1 million, at just over 1 million, a little bit. Other than that, at the free dupe level with all links active, which is 55%, no dupes invested, but with all those same links active, he's just under 700,000. So that's how big of a difference the rainbow level makes on that unit, so keep that in mind. So the next unit on my list is actually, I'm going to keep it honest with you guys, actually number 2. So we're skipping number 3, okay? But, I mean, you guys already knew who the top 3 were in my opinion. But anyways, moving on. We're skipping number 3. Oh, back to the calcs. We're going to get back to the calcs, I guess, every time. We have Kid Buu. So, again, number 2, but really number 3 because he's third slide, but really number 2. So, in Kid Buu. So, what we have here between this unit and number 1, who obviously at this point is probably the physical, in my opinion. What we have here is a really cool dichotomy between two units that offer different things. So, we have this unit who is here to output insane amounts of damage, and you will see that on the damage calcs when I go back to it. He's insane. I've always vouched for this unit. I've always thought he was really good and very underrated since he came out. His biggest issue was his crap lanes. I mean, he doesn't have any key links, literally. I don't think he has a single key link. Oh my gosh. Literally, he does not have a single key link. So that's what made him really unusable, because he'd be linking alongside units like Buhan and stuff like that and get insane attack values. But I mean, like, bro, if I can't super, I just can't super. So, especially with 2 of them floating around, you really got a tough time, man. So, anyways, he forces his team to run a lot of support, which is not necessarily a bad thing because there's a lot of offensive and key support. So, that's really good. Anyways, moving on. Healing, very, very good. Attack up to 170%. Most of the time, when HP is 30% or above, is infinitely better than the Tech Kid Buu's restriction, which is 30%, I don't know, 80% or below. Now, that being said, I still think the best restriction to have is probably 99%, because it's, when you're below 99%, because it's always active as soon as you get hit a single time. It doesn't matter if it's a normal attack or super attack, whatever. But still, this is really, really good. One of the better restrictions you can possibly have if you have one. So 170 almost always, right? Especially because you heal, it shouldn't be hard to maintain that. So just a pure nuke. That's it. He's just very, very good. So let's go back over to his calculations really quick. So we have Kid Buu. So at Rainbow, attack stat gets to 2.6. Wow. Very powerful with all these links active at Rainbow. Without the Wall Standing Tall, this is like more of a specialized thing because you won't be getting some of these links naturally. Without the Wall Standing Tall, it dips to 2.2, which is more normal level at Rainbow level. Dokkan Fest units at a Rainbow level, I've said it in a lot of my videos, hover between like 1.5 to like 2.5, depending on the scenario, the teams they're on, and stuff like that. So this unit is actually still right up there with a lot of them. So that's good to see. By the way, all these calcs were done under the Resurrected Warriors team. By the way, I should have pointed that out. Anyways, moving on. With those same links active, no Rainbow, just under 2 million. That's really good. At non-Rainbow, that's really good with all those links active. And then 1.7 without Wall Standing Tall, and with only Fierce Battle and Brutal Beatdown at the free dupe level, because those are his 2 most common links that he'd be able to get on the Res Warriors, 1.4. So He's a very, very good unit offensively. So as far as this is concerned, we don't need this list for a bit, so we're going to minimize that. We are jumping into number one, Str Kid Buu. Nah, the real number one's over here. But let me go over number 3, because I did this out of order. He's number 3, really, right before the Int Kid Buu. So we're going to go back to his calcs. The Str Kid Buu gets under 1 million. The thing about Str Kid Buu is offensively, he's very, very, very similar to the tech one, Unawakened, right? So the Unawakened Tech Kid Buu and this Kid Buu are just about on the same wavelength. This one out damages with all the links active barely, you know? But without access to wall standing tall, their attack is almost 100% the same. It's just a little bit lower for the STR. And as we dip a little bit lower, the attack stat starts to favor the STR one when we go to the rainbow level with only Brutal Beatdown active for tech. But then since tech doesn't have Fierce Battle, STR does, you know, it starts to favor him. So as we progress that way, you know, it works out a little bit more in this unit's favor. And without being at rainbow level, Tech Kid Buu can't compete anymore. So with all the links active at free dupe level, 697 versus 745. So really that's why he's here, just because more consistently, I would say this unit is better offensively, if not in the same wavelength, which he is in all scenarios pretty much. But then also has the defense, also doesn't have a restriction, also does supreme damage as well, also lowers enemies' defense as well, I believe. Also has a secondary mechanic which disables enemies' guard, so yeah. That's pretty much it, man. Like, there's no reason not to put him here. So the key multiplier, I believe, is probably not the same, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. So 135, just for the record, I want to pull it up. So where's yours? 130. Okay, so yeah, that's part of it too. Of course, this unit is hamstrung because he has an awakening that's better than the other Kid Buu. But for my mistake, I accidentally closed out of the entire browser. But I was saying, for all intents and purposes, the Tech Kid Buu, he's hamstrung, but Str Kid Buu goes into the number 3 spot. So number 2 would be Int, and that means number 1 is right here. So since this is my number 1, he does have his own separate slide because, again, like I was saying with the Int Kid Buu, their values are different. This unit is very good for a different reason because of the fact that he now offers a boost below 80%, also offers a key boost above 80%. He is so good, man. So let me go ahead and show you guys some calculations. I really don't need to explain why this unit is powerful, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at some calculations for him. So I showed him off alongside a rotation of Majin Vegeta and LR Broly. So I wanted to really just show you guys how much he adds to the team. So that rotation with all of them at free dupe level, but also being above 80% HP, Majin Vegeta and Broly with an average of 14 and 15 keys. So they're not even really getting their max best key. So Vegeta would want to get 17, Broly would want to get 24, which he mentions here. So under these conditions, the damage that Kid Buu provides is 2.6. So it's a little bit different for Kid Buu. Let me explain. The overall support that he added to the entire turn, so that includes the attack stat of the Majin Vegeta and the Broly. How much of a buff they got by having him here is the way that he has been calculated. So he starts to hit over 3 million, close to 3 million with this specific rotation, right? So this is free dupe level above 80%. So they're all 55% in the potential system, but above 80% threshold for physical Kid Buu's passive. If Majin Vegeta gets 17 and Broly reaches 24, the damage provided jumps to 2.9 million damage provided. So that's pretty gross gain. So we've already, at that level, without any dupes invested, outdone the Int Kid Buu, right? But with that same vein, below the 80% threshold, the numbers drop by literally a million. Literally a million. So like that 50% passive he has above 80% is too good. So rainbow level above 80%. So now at rainbow level, the damage jumps to 3.2 and 3.6 respectively. If they get 17 and 24 key, they get to 3.6. Below the threshold, 2.2 and 2.5 with the max key for those units. Overall, again, like I said, this is a specific situation. The rotations vary based on what the individual player has. But we have a unit here that peaks way higher than the Int Kid Buu, and his floor is just about the same floor. So that's my opinion on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure that you leave a thumbs up. I'll catch all of you in the next one. Have an awesome day, and take it easy, guys.